Feeding fish in an aquarium sounds simple until you actually try to do it properly. In this tank, for example, I keep a mix of different species. A pair of clownfish, filefish, grammas, dottybacks, a wrasse, a dwarf angelfish and a few others. And the interesting part is, every single one of these fish eats differently. Take the filefish for example. They spend their entire day picking at surfaces. In the wild they feed mostly on algae and tiny organisms, so they need a diet that is rich in plant-based nutrition, like spirulina. Clownfish on the other hand are much less picky. They'll eat pretty much anything you give them. But that doesn't mean it's always the best thing. Then you've got fish like grammas and dottybacks. They are fast, reactive feeders that will go for food instantly. Sometimes even before the slower fish, like the filefish for example, even get a chance. The wrasse and my dwarf angelfish can be the most difficult ones as they can be extremely picky. And that's something I get asked about a lot. Because if you get this wrong, some fish will thrive and others will slowly starve. So how do you make sure that all of your fish actually eat? And it's not just about what you feed, it's also how you feed. Because in a tank like this, if you just dump food in one spot, the fastest fish will eat everything, and the slower ones get nothing. So what I'd like to do is I spread the food around the tank. Sometimes I'll even feed in multiple spots at once, so fish like the filefish actually get a chance to eat. Because this food is so soft and sinks slowly, it gives them time to pick at it naturally. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you've probably already seen this product. This is one of those products that I've been using in my fish keeping routine for years. Now, before we get into this video was sponsored by Vitalis. It is a paid promotion. But this is not something I just started using. Back when I first got into reef tanks in 2018, feeding was pretty much guesswork. I bought cheap flakes, random frozen foods, basically whatever the fish store had in clearance. But over time I started noticing something. When I visited my local fish store, I noticed every single one of their fish was going crazy when they were getting fed, even the picky fish. So I asked them, "What are you feeding?" They then showed me these containers from Vitalis, and I asked them, what's so different about them compared to mine food? Because my fish don't react the same way. They opened up a container and let me smell the food, and I immediately noticed something different. It actually smelled like real food. Fresh, nutritious, and natural. They explained it's because it's made from real nutrient-dense ingredients, and those naturally come with a stronger smell. They gave me a sample to try at home, and honestly, I was hooked right away. That's where my love for this brand started. When Vitalis offered me the opportunity to make a dedicated video about their brand, I was hesitant at first, because I normally don't do videos like this. But I figured this is actually something that can make your fish keeping experience even better. Because keeping your fish as healthy as possible should be the goal for every fish keeper. Vitalis has been around for a long time, and today they're feeding everything from home aquariums to some of the largest public aquariums in the world. The process of how they make their foods is also very interesting. My friend Marge from Fragbox in Canada actually went to their facility in the UK and made a video about it. You can check it out on his channel and I'll link it somewhere here on the screen. What I learned is that instead of blasting it with high heat like the process a lot of other fish foods go through, Vitalis actually uses a low temperature process. Which basically means that the ingredients keep more of their nutritional value and the food stays more intact. Vitalis food doesn't break down into dust when you add it to the water. Those type of foods might spike your nutrients, but they're not doing your fish any favors, let's be honest. These foods are very malleable. Because it's so soft, it also helps the fish or anemones digest it better, allowing for full absorption of the nutrients that are inside the food. A long time ago I got this display kit from a store. Some of you might even recognize it because I've shown it in other videos as well. It has samples of the ingredients they use for these foods. And it's not just one or two ingredients. You've got things like whole fish meal, human-grade squid, shrimp, mussels, different types of algae, spirulina. Basically, it's built around what fish would naturally eat, and not just fillers to bulk it out. And that's also why you get that strong smell, because these are real, raw ingredients. Everything they use comes from registered suppliers, and there's no genetically modified stuff in there either. Now I can hear some of you scream on the other side of the screen, your fish are too big and they won't eat these little pellets. Well, Vitalis has you covered, trust me. They have so many different sizes of pellets. Your nano fish will love them, and your big monster fish will love them. They've been feeding public aquariums around the world for years. They have food for any size of fish. Vitalis is well known in Europe. They're based out of the United Kingdom, but they're also available in the United States. Just ask your local fish store to get them from the supplier in the US, Fritz Aquatics. Now this is by far one of the best fish foods out there, and don't just trust my word by it. You can find plenty of great reviews online, and some of the best public aquariums around the world feed this food. One thing I've noticed over the years is that feeding your fish properly actually changes everything. It's not just about keeping them alive, it's about how they look, how they behave, and how healthy they actually are long term. When you feed high quality nutritious foods, your fish develop a much stronger immune system. Because of this, they are way more resistant to things like parasites and diseases. And if something does go wrong, they recover much faster. And you'll see it visually too. Colors become deeper, more vibrant, the fins look cleaner, and the bodies look a lot fuller. Another big one is behavior. Fish respond way more aggressively to good food, even the picky ones. You can actually see them get excited about this. And that makes a huge difference, especially in a mixed tank like this. Something a lot of people don't even think about is that better food actually keeps your water cleaner as well. Because the ingredients are more digestible, so your fish absorb more of it, which means less waste and less nutrients leaking into your water. At the end of the day, good food doesn't just feed your fish, it builds a healthier system overall. So if you're struggling with picky fish, or if you just want to get the most out of your freshwater or saltwater aquarium, this is definitely something worth trying. You can find more information and the full line of Vitalis products in the description. Let me know what you think, and thank you so much for watching.